Anyway, our next act of this very short break that we just had is genuinely one of the funniest people I have ever met. He has made me snort wine out of my nose in the past. It was very unattractive, but it is one of the highest compliments I can give that I would in any way waste wine. Like, that doesn't happen easily. Right. Performing tonight for you, Joe Skullface, or the ghost of Millennial Burnout.
What is up, you sexy fuckers? Woo! Oh, God, okay.
It's easy for you in the morning when you've got to edit this.
Okay. All right, say that. Hello, this is my second ever stand-up show because I seem to only ever do this with gays because that's my safe space. Completely forgotten my set, so I'm just gonna wing it. The theme for tonight is obviously spooky, scary things because it's Halloween, and it's I guess you could say it's one of my favorite holidays. I think mostly just because you can dress however you want, and you won't get judged. Unless your costume's racist, in which case, I'm gonna throw you in the bin. But as you could probably tell, I'm chock full of anxiety and mental illness. I only got diagnosed about last year because the first ever doctor I saw was like, "You don't look mentally ill." Who gave this woman a medical license? I just want to talk. But long before I was formally diagnosed and I didn't know how to handle myself quite as well, I went through one of the most horrifying experiences I think you ever can. Trying to buy a Subway sandwich for the first time. There's no manual, there are no instructions. I don't know what the different types of bread mean. There's peppers, there's onions. The woman was so nice. She was like, "Hi, welcome to Subway." And as she just went down the line, I think I blacked out. And when I came to, I had this soggy mess that I was forced to consume. I didn't. But she was going around the line. She was like, "Do you want peppers?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." She was like, "Do you want cheese?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'll put Swiss on that. Let's go. I've never had Swiss cheese. Let's do it." Did I want chicken, beef, some peppers, onions, I don't know, sweet corn, mayonnaise, sweet chili sauce, all mashed down into an amalgamation of sin? No! But that is what I got. But speaking of scary things, I managed to get into my second year of uni. Don't clap, I'm an art student. I'm going nowhere in life. But I'm sure most of you all know that the first year of uni doesn't really mean anything. You know, you can just sort of fuck about, and if you scrape by, they'll probably sort of pity you and think, "This child is clearly struggling. Let's just get them on the escalator. It's fine. Well, they'll be fine." But second year is when shit starts to matter. You can't just have a mental breakdown at the end of the year and get capped at 40%. That shit don't fly. And, you know, but starting second year was pretty chill. I got some lovely new tutors, and they were very nice. And I started to do life drawing classes that the uni provides for free, because life drawing's fun. And hey, naked people, am I right? But a year ago, when I first did these life drawing classes, it was the very first time I'd ever drawn a life subject in the nude. And I was generally, at that time, quite uncomfortable with nudity. And I think we all know, it's one thing to look at a person in the nude. It's a second thing to have to watch them as you draw their genitals. But I was, I went with my good friend Ingar. Some of you may know him. Lovely fella. We were sat next to each other and we were doing these drawings. We were doing a 40-minute one and I was sketching the legs and I thought, it's good, but it looks a bit weird. The legs are just out of place. And I went, "Ingar, what's wrong here? How can I improve?" And he just sort of turned to me, looked at the drawing, looked me dead in the eyes and went, "You haven't drawn the dick." You can't say that in public. I was raised partially in the South. So anyone if you say the word penis in public, every middle-aged couple in a 20-mile radius who voted Brexit will retract in horror. But they might just do that anyway, because I'm trans. Who's to say which it is? But, I eventually got over the awkwardness, and that, it didn't turn out to be that terrifying, so things were good. But I started to sort of get into horror movies when I was about 15, and I started to sort of desensitize from, like shock horror, like the really cheap sort of like, and you're like, ugh. But speaking of anxiety, I developed a rather inappropriate panic response to these things. And I was watching the movie Hereditary, which I don't know if you've seen it. You know the one with the Satan grandma. I got a bit bored halfway through. But there's a very sort of dramatic scene when one of the characters, I won't spoil it for the people who haven't seen it, in case you want to watch it, gets rather dramatically decapitated. Bit of context, I was on a date. So I was sat in my little theatre chair, just sort of going, this is going well, because, we're having good rapport. The person head lops off, and I just go, Thankfully, he also did that, so it was fine. But there was a theatre full of people that I'm sure definitely saw my face at the end and are like, I'm definitely just on a list somewhere. People to avoid and or arrest. I think that's the kind of list I get on everywhere, because I'm obnoxious. But anxiety is a very difficult thing to deal with in this current political climate, because the NHS is crumbling around us, because as we know, the Conservative government don't think poor people are people. Fuck Boris! Fuck Tories. But things are good at the moment. I moved into a much nicer place. People who were here last year heard me talking about stores. It's not that bad, guys. It is. It's horrible. The year before I got there, apparently there was a deadly water thing where all the water was brown and disgusting. I don't think that's happened again. Every year. Oh, gross. But, the place I currently reside is quite nice. It's called... it's right next to a bar that plays really loud music until 4 in the morning when I'm trying to go to workshops at like 9. That's not fair. Is it parish? Just because I'm not a socialite, just because I'm a little hermit that hides in my room and draws things and watches TV, doesn't mean I don't have rights. I'm that really annoying one in the background just going, turn it down. I'm very sensitive to noise. I don't like it when things are too loud. I get a little scared. Or I laugh at decapitation. There's no middle ground. I'm either terrified or laughing like a fucking madman. I mean, all you probably understand that I'm mental, but the general public, they don't need to know that, because the general public tend to call the police. Yeah. I have thank you. I didn't forget my set. I just did it in the wrong order, because I have memory problems. And as a general mess, I decided to start rehearsing the night before. But this probably wasn't as long as Tristan wanted it to be. I'm sorry for messing up your schedule, babes. That's just how it be when you're a rock star. Fuck the police. But if you want to take anything away from this brief look into my weird mental health, what can I say? Subway can suck my dick. Don't look at someone in the eyes whilst you are drawing their dick. Fuck TERFs, kiss girls, and eat the rich.